Have you ever noticed that some foods you used to eat without a second thought just don't seem to sit right anymore? Maybe your stomach feels a little off after certain meals, or your joints ache a little more than usual. It's easy to shrug it off and say, well, that's just part of getting older. But the truth is, some of what we feel isn't just aging, it's what we're putting on our plate. I know it sounds surprising, especially when we're talking about vegetables. I mean, vegetables are supposed to be healthy, right? That's what we've heard our whole lives. But here's the thing. Not all vegetables are created equal, especially when you're over 60. Some of them can quietly wreak havoc on your body, making you feel bloated, inflamed, or even worsening certain chronic conditions. And on the flip side, there are a few humble vegetables out there that can actually help you feel lighter, clearer, more energized, and yes, even younger. So today, we're diving into something that might just change how you look at your next meal. We're going to talk about 4 vegetables you should think twice about, and 4 you'll want to make friends with. Don't worry, this isn't about restricting your favorite foods or making life harder. In fact, the goal is just the opposite. It's about helping your body feel better with simple choices that fit into your everyday routine. Let's start with something you might already suspect but haven't quite confirmed yet. Have you ever eaten a big plate of stir-fried peppers or eggplant and felt like your stomach suddenly turned into a balloon? That uncomfortable bloat, maybe even some heartburn creeping up? You're not alone. Some of the vegetables we often cook with, especially nightshades like eggplant and bell peppers, can actually cause inflammation in the body, particularly for those of us with joint issues or arthritis. Now, don't get me wrong, eggplant and peppers aren't bad in the general sense, but for many people over 60, these vegetables can stir up trouble. They contain a compound called solanine, which in sensitive individuals can worsen joint pain and digestive problems. If you've been dealing with stiffness in your knees or waking up with your hands feeling swollen, it might not just be the weather, it could be what's on your plate. Try stepping back from eggplant or bell peppers for a couple of weeks and see how your body reacts. You might be surprised at the difference. And while we're on the topic of inflammation, let's talk about corn. Yes, sweet corn. It's tasty, it's familiar, and it reminds many of us of summer barbecues and warm memories. But as we age, corn can be a sneaky culprit behind blood sugar spikes, joint stiffness, and even digestive sluggishness. It's not that corn is inherently evil, but modern corn is often heavily processed, stripped of fiber, and loaded with natural sugars. It's also one of the most genetically modified crops out there, and many people don't realize how much their body has to work to digest it properly. So, if you're someone who's noticed more belly discomfort, or if your energy dips after meals, swapping out corn, even in small amounts, could help bring things back into balance. Try using cauliflower rice instead of corn-based tortillas, or even roasted zucchini as a side instead of that buttery corn cob. Your body will thank you for it. Now, let's switch gears for a moment. We've talked about what might be causing problems, so what can we add to feel better? Imagine a vegetable that helps clean out your digestive system, supports your liver, and even helps lower blood pressure. That's not some miracle pill from a pharmacy. It's beets. Yes, good old-fashioned beets. Whether you roast them, grate them raw into a salad, or blend them into a smoothie, beets are packed with something called nitrates, which help improve blood flow. For those of us in our 60s, 70s, or even 80s, circulation becomes more important than ever. Better blood flow means more oxygen to your muscles, brain, and heart, keeping you sharper and more active every day. Beets also support the liver, which plays a huge role in filtering out the toxins that can make us feel sluggish or achy. And don't worry if you're not a beet lover yet. There are plenty of delicious ways to cook them without that strong, earthy taste that turns some people off. A little garlic, olive oil, and roasting goes a long way. Another powerhouse vegetable you don't want to overlook is broccoli. Now, I know, broccoli doesn't exactly spark excitement for everyone, but this green little tree is one of the best things you can feed your aging body. It's full of sulforaphane, a compound known for fighting inflammation and even helping to protect against certain types of cancer. It also supports healthy digestion and strengthens the immune system, something we all want a bit more of, especially these days. If steaming broccoli brings back memories of bland dinners, don't worry. You can toss it in olive oil and roast it until the edges get crispy, or stir-fry it with a little garlic and sesame oil for a savory, satisfying side. The key is to make it tasty so it doesn't feel like a chore, because eating healthy should never feel like a punishment. It should be a gift you give yourself. We've only just started, but already you can begin to see how even a few small shifts can have a big impact. Replacing just 1 or 2 vegetables on your plate each day could mean less stiffness in the morning, better digestion, and even more energy throughout the day. Now that we've covered how eggplant, bell peppers, and corn might be holding you back, and how beets and broccoli can lift you up, let's keep going. There are still a couple more veggies you'll want to watch out for, and a few more that can do wonders for your health. Now, if you're still with me, and I hope you are, it means you're someone who truly wants to feel better, stay active, and make choices that support your body, not fight against it. And that's something to feel proud of, because not everyone takes the time to learn what their body really needs after 60. So let's keep going, because we've still got some important ground to cover. Earlier, we talked about nightshades like eggplant and bell peppers, and how corn can be more harmful than helpful, especially for aging bodies. But there's another vegetable that often slips under the radar: raw onions. Now, I know onions are a staple in so many kitchens. They add flavor, they're in everything from salads to sandwiches, and they seem harmless enough. But for some people, especially those dealing with sensitive digestion, acid reflux, or irritable bowels, raw onions can be a hidden trigger. What happens is this: onions, particularly raw, contain compounds that are tough to break down, and they can lead to gas, bloating, and stomach cramps. And if you've noticed more heartburn or indigestion creeping in lately, onions might be a quiet contributor. That doesn't mean you have to cut them out completely. Cooked onions, especially when sautéed slowly or roasted, are usually much gentler on the digestive system. It's just something to be aware of, because sometimes the things we assume are harmless can be what's making us uncomfortable without us even realizing it. Now, let's talk about something that might surprise you: canned or overcooked spinach. Yes, spinach is another one of those vegetables we've been told is super healthy, and in many ways it is. It's full of iron, folate, and antioxidants. But here's the catch: spinach also contains oxalates, which, in high amounts, can contribute to kidney stones and interfere with how your body absorbs calcium. And when spinach is overcooked, or worse, comes from a can, it tends to lose a lot of its valuable nutrients while concentrating the compounds that aren't so friendly. If you've ever had trouble with kidney function or been told to watch your calcium levels, it might be time to take a closer look at how you're eating your greens. Fresh spinach, lightly steamed, or tossed into a salad in moderation is usually fine. But eating large portions of it daily, especially cooked into mush, can be too much of a good thing. Now, let's turn our attention to the good stuff again, because there's nothing more empowering than knowing what foods can actually help your body heal, energize, and thrive. One of my personal favorites, and one that often gets overlooked, is Brussels sprouts. Yes, I know. Some people hear the name and instantly think of a bitter, mushy side dish. But trust me, when cooked right, Brussels sprouts are a game changer. These little green gems are rich in vitamin K, which is essential for bone health, and glucosinolates, compounds that help support detox and may even protect against cancer. They're also high in fiber, which helps keep digestion smooth and steady. And here's the beautiful part. They actually help reduce inflammation throughout the body. If you've been feeling puffy, stiff, or just kind of off, adding Brussels sprouts to your diet a few times a week might help bring things back into balance. The trick is to roast them until they're crispy on the outside and soft on the inside. A little olive oil, a pinch of salt, maybe a splash of balsamic vinegar. You won't even recognize them from the soggy side dish of the past. Plus, they pair well with just about anything. Another veggie that deserves a spotlight is carrots. Now, carrots are easy to take for granted because they're so common. We toss them into soups, salads, stews, but often forget just how much they can do for us. Carrots are rich in beta-carotene, which converts to vitamin A in the body. That means stronger vision, healthier skin, and better immune support. All things that matter even more as we get older. But what many people don't realize is that carrots also help regulate blood sugar. Unlike starchy vegetables, they don't cause sharp spikes in glucose levels, which is crucial if you're managing diabetes or prediabetes. And because they're naturally sweet, they can help satisfy those sugar cravings in a healthier way. Raw carrots are fantastic for snacking, but roasting them brings out their natural sweetness and gives you that soft, comforting texture that's easy on the teeth and soothing to eat. You can even grate them into oatmeal for a hint of sweetness and a fiber boost in the morning. Yes, really, carrots in oatmeal. Don't knock it till you try it. So, let's take a breath and just reflect for a moment. Sometimes all it takes is swapping one or two ingredients on your plate to make a big difference. You don't need to go on a complicated diet or follow some rigid plan. It's about paying attention to how your body feels and choosing foods that support your energy, not drain it. That's the beauty of eating well after 60. It's not about chasing youth. It's about feeding wisdom, listening to what your body is quietly trying to tell you. The more we honor our needs, the better we feel. Less bloating, fewer aches, a little more pep in your step when you wake up. It adds up. We've now talked about some of the vegetables that might be doing more harm than good, like raw onions and canned spinach. And we've highlighted the benefits of Brussels sprouts and carrots, which are easy to add and surprisingly powerful. But we're not done yet. There are still a couple more vegetables I want to share with you, ones that can either support your health in a big way or, if you're not careful, quietly work against it. So now that we've covered a few vegetables that might be quietly sabotaging your health and some that could truly uplift it, you might be looking at your next meal with fresh eyes. That's a good thing. Awareness is the first step to real change, and it's never too late to start making choices that work with your body, not against it. Let's keep going, because there are still a couple more vegetables we need to talk about, ones that often fly under the radar but can have a big impact, especially as we age. The next one might surprise you because it often shows up on lists of so-called healthy snacks. Celery. Yes, celery. Crunchy, watery, light as air celery. It's a diet food staple, right? But here's what a lot of people don't realize, especially those over 60 is celery is mostly water and fiber, which sounds good, but it's extremely low in essential nutrients. If you're using it to replace more nutrient-dense snacks, you may actually be robbing your body of what it needs to stay strong. And there's more. For people who already have low blood pressure, a common concern for older adults, eating a lot of celery can make things worse. Celery contains compounds that may act like natural diuretics, which can lead to dehydration and even dizziness in some people. Think about that the next time you feel a little lightheaded or drained after a snack of celery sticks. That doesn't mean you need to eliminate celery completely. It has its place. But it shouldn't be treated like a superfood. If you enjoy it, pair it with something nourishing, like hummus or almond butter, to give your body something it can actually use. Now let's shift gears and talk about one of the best vegetables you can eat after 60. It's humble, earthy, and often overlooked: beets. Beets are a powerhouse for older adults. They're rich in nitrates, not the bad kind used in processed meats, but natural compounds that help dilate blood vessels, improve circulation, and even lower blood pressure. And that's a big deal, especially when you're trying to keep your heart and brain healthy. Better circulation means more oxygen gets to your muscles and organs, helping you feel more energized and alert. Beets also support liver detoxification, and they're high in folate, which supports brain health and helps prevent memory issues. If you're looking to stay sharp and energized in your 60s, 70s, and beyond, beets are your friend. Now, I get it. Beets aren't everyone's favorite. They can taste a little earthy, but try this. Roast them with olive oil until they caramelize a bit. That natural sweetness comes out, and they take on a whole new flavor profile, or shred them raw into a salad with a squeeze of lemon. Once you find a preparation you like, you'll wonder how you ever ignored them before. And finally, let's talk about one more veggie that absolutely deserves a place on your plate: broccoli. Broccoli may be one of the most important vegetables you can eat as you get older. It's rich in sulforaphane, a compound that has powerful anti-inflammatory and even anti-cancer properties. It helps protect your cells from damage, supports detox pathways in the liver, and may even reduce the risk of cognitive decline. It's also a great source of fiber, which keeps your digestion regular, and calcium, which supports bone strength, especially important after 60. Many older adults worry about bones becoming brittle, and rightfully so. Broccoli is one of those rare vegetables that supports both bone and brain health. But here's the trick: not overcooking it. When broccoli is steamed lightly or roasted until just tender, it keeps more of its nutrients intact. Overboiling it into a mushy pile strips away much of its benefit, and let's be honest, it doesn't taste great that way either. So whether you're adding it to a stir-fry, steaming it as a side, or tossing it in with some quinoa or brown rice, broccoli is a versatile, dependable addition to your weekly meals. Let's take a moment to breathe all of this in. It's not about never eating a certain food again or turning your entire kitchen upside down. It's about learning to notice, to pay attention to the foods that lift you up and those that quietly pull you down. Your body is speaking to you every day. It whispers through your energy, your digestion, your aches and stiffness, even your sleep. The more you tune in, the easier it becomes to make choices that support the life you want to live. You've just learned about 4 vegetables that could be working against your health, and 4 that can help you feel stronger, clearer, and more balanced. And while the science is important, what matters most is how you feel. You are the expert on your body. This is just a starting point, a gentle nudge toward the direction that leads to more vitality, more clarity, and more joy. And here's something to remember. You don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to do it with care. One small shift at a time. Maybe it's swapping that can of cream spinach for some roasted Brussels sprouts. Maybe it's trying a beet salad instead of another day of celery sticks. Whatever you choose, let it come from a place of love and curiosity, not guilt or pressure. So, if you found this helpful, I'd love to hear from you. What foods have you noticed make you feel better or worse lately? Drop a comment and share your story. You never know who might read it and feel a little less alone. And if you haven't already, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We've got plenty more tips, inspiration, and conversations coming your way to help you live your healthiest, happiest life after 60. You're doing something powerful just by being here, investing in yourself, and that's something worth celebrating. So here's to you, to wisdom, and to living your best life at any age. You deserve nothing less.